Welcome back, America. We're here with our friend Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin, you were almost governor of New York. That's a damn shame that you weren't. And you see what's happening in New York, and it's happening all over the country. This open borders issue, this refusal to enforce student visas, the lack of vetting of individuals. We have a lot of people in this country now who hate our country, who hate us. They're in the streets openly, trashing the country, burning the American flag, replacing it with the Palestinian flag. You see the fusion of the Marxists and the universities with the Islamists and basically Hitler Youth. They're on subways in New York. You have imams in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You have them in California. You see Dearborn, Michigan. You know, the idea was we have immigration. People come into the country. They have allegiance to the country. They assimilate into our culture rather than have 50 different cultures. The system is completely broken, not the immigration system, the people who lack virtue and will not run the immigration system. This anti-Semitism thing, this Jew hatred thing, it's taking hold in the country, and I'm not seeing a damn thing of any real significance being done by this president or his administration. Am I missing something?
You're not missing anything, Mark, and this is by design with President Biden. From the first day that he came into office, taking executive action to open up the border, whether it was stopping construction of the border wall, it was ramping up, catch and release, getting rid of Remain in Mexico, getting rid of Title 42. When I hear President Biden and the White House talking about how they need an act of Congress in order to do their job and secure the border, we just need to look at the history of what President Trump did and what President Biden has done, proving the president has the power to open the border, the president has the power to close the border. President Biden can do it himself, taking action today, and he should. Anyone inside of our country who is engaging in terrorism, yes, it's terrorism, going way beyond free speech protections and actually blocking Jewish students from being able to get to a library, dues-paying students because they're Jewish. What we've seen in single days, where inside of states like New York this past week, we had things happening all across the state at once, people getting their home vandalized, Jewish daycare centers being denied access to taxpayer-funded resources because it was a Jewish daycare. I think anti-Semitism has exploded, but Joe Biden has done this domestic political calculation because of Rashida Tlaib and her friends in Dearborn and elsewhere, where they need to keep power, prestige, perks. They want to stay in office, so they will pander to these anti-Semites as opposed to cracking down on it. It's something that gets worse every single day. And as far as what's happening inside of these universities, it's been getting worse, building up for a while. I think anyone inside of this country who is here illegally or they're here on some visa and they're seeking harm to America, they're talking death to America, they're affiliating with Hamas and Hezbollah and other organizations, if they use October 7th as a rallying cry, and especially when they're committing additional offenses, get them the heck out of our country.
100%. Well, I'll tell you how unserious Joe Biden is. He puts out this phony, baloney executive order. Tell me, Lee Zeldin, has he withdrawn a single one of his 94 executive orders that undermined the secure border that Donald Trump put in place? Just one?
No, he is trying to play it both ways. We've seen this from issue to issue. With regards to what's going on overseas in Israel, he'll give a speech at the Holocaust Museum while his administration is taking a policy to undercut Israel. They will put out rhetoric that make it seem like they're looking to strengthen a relationship with Israel, and then meanwhile Chuck Schumer will go to the floor of the state Senate calling for regime change. As it relates to our border, same thing. They are seeing the polling that's going on right now with the #1 issue for many Americans, people infuriated by what's happening with this open border, and they want action. They are voting on this as their top issue to decide their vote. So for political purposes, they're trying to find a way to play a game with words. What is being discussed by this president right now of taking action is not going to get the job done. It isn't reversing the executive orders of day one and since. And quite frankly, it's just trying to allow more people to come illegally into the country. They're not trying to stop this illegal entry into the border. They're trying to just manage it a bit to get past November.
Let's be clear about this. You don't need a law by Congress that says enforce the law. We already have a significant immigration legal system that they will not uphold and enforce. You don't need to pass a law to say that we will uphold the law. That's number one. Number two, he hasn't withdrawn a single one of his executive orders. Number three, he's flying illegal aliens into the country. Does that sound like somebody who's serious about the border? No, it doesn't. So the bottom line is his executive orders are just another fig leaf that he uses. And when we come back, Lee Zeldin, I want to talk to you about Israel, because Hezbollah is launching hundreds of missiles a day into the state of Israel. And again, Biden and Blinken are telling Israel not to defend itself. Biden and Blinken are telling Israel to surrender to Hamas. Biden and Blinken are telling Israel to confer 30% of its country to the Palestinians. If the Israelis did what Biden and Blinken said, they'd cease to exist. I want to pursue that with you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.